Happy holidays from Bloodbath and beyond. Today we review Sleigh Bells. Merry Krampus.
Directed by SpookyDan Walker, starring Barry Bostwick, Kristina Klebe, Susan Slaughter, and Hannah Wagner, Sleigh Bells is about three adventure girls who visit the abandoned Santa land. Unfortunately, they run into the deadly Krampus and have to fight to save the world. What do we like about this movie?
I like Barry Bostwick as Santa. He's kind of probably one of the more badass Santa portrayals ever.
Yeah.
I can't think of a more badass one.
Goldberg.
You're right. Sorry, Barry. Goldberg wins that badass award. But he looks like he's in a biker gang. I mean, he does don some traditional Santa garb later.
But that was only to prove that he was Santa.
Which is odd.
What I liked about his performance was that he didn't phone it in, I think. I think he just enjoyed playing the role.
Have you been creeping on us this whole time?
Ever since you were born.
Gross.
So it showed. It wasn't just some half-assed attempt to cash a check or something. And I think that kind of goes for the other actors too. The girls, not necessarily great, but I don't think it was bad. I think they played their characters as they were meant to be played.
I like the wardrobes.
Your guys' outfits are amazing.
Because the girls look like badasses and still cute and recognizable because they all have their different colors, kind of looking like the Powerpuff Girls, but slightly more annoying maybe.
I hope Santa Land has some amazing swag.
It's kind of interesting seeing Hannah Minx in this. Hannah Wagner was a really big YouTuber back in the day, and then she just disappeared 6 years ago, around the making of this movie, I guess. And she hasn't uploaded since. I just thought it was interesting because I hadn't heard from her in so long. Our buddy Dustin loved her because she teaches Japanese and she has big boobs, and that's something that's enjoyable.
Japanese is a fun language.
Kumori. 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 Kumori means cloud.
You know what was really cool? Krampus looked awesome.
He was great.
The blood coming out of his mouth, his teeth, the hair, the fur, everything looked great on Krampus. Top notch.
And he was massive too. When you see him standing beside the girls, he's fucking 11 feet tall. It was awesome.
Another interesting take was the Santa Krampus being kind of connected, kind of one and the same, but with opposite roles in the world. So there was an interesting story to have. What didn't we like about this movie?
First and foremost, the most aggravating thing is the music. The music is obnoxious, and it's dubstep throughout the entire movie.
Reason.
Meet my taser.
I actually turned to Trav, I'm like, what is this sound I'm hearing? You just hear, zzz, it's a slow buildup, and Trav just that's suspense building.
Hello?
You know, your background music should be background music, but this is way too prevalent. The cops in this movie didn't seem relevant in a lot of the scenes. There's this particular annoying scene with the 911 operator.
Okay, because tonight,
It's Jesus' birthday, so goodbye.
You know, they kept cutting back to it, but I don't think it was really adding much.
No. And just the cops in general, every cop at the cop station was just kind of annoying. They were trying to make funny jokes, the guy who couldn't answer the phones and stuff.
Hello? I don't know how to work it!
It was very, very low tier jokes that weren't really jokes. It was really odd.
Dispatch Officer Green and Sean.
When we complain about humor, obviously it's just not to our taste. To us, it felt redundant, it's all been done before, and it wasn't even parodying the fact that these are usual jokes that are made.
Yeah, even some of the banter between the girls just didn't make much sense. I didn't think the writing was very strong, to be honest.
I want to eat this mushroom and then, get twice as big.
Like we said, the girls did a good job doing what they were supposed to do, but they weren't given a lot to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a big problem too. When you see this movie, it's Sleigh Bells. You want these badass chicks kicking the hell out of Krampus. And that's not what you get. They look like badasses, they have some weapons, but they don't really do anything. They tie Krampus up once, they tie a cop up once. That's really mostly what they do.
When we get to the gore, there are some good gore parts, but then there was a lot of quick cuts, blurry, so you don't really see what's going on.
I also found the editing a little obnoxious because they cut between the regular footage and Sadie's like handheld camera, and that doesn't look good. And it's so damn shaky. There's like no stabilization. There's a lot of like weird framing in the movie as well. Like the cinematography, I didn't think was too hot because everything is very like tight. Everything seemed tighter than it should be. Everything is really up in your face.
One thing this movie did that I don't like, they did the 12 hours earlier thing. When they show you the room, you know who survives.
Right, you see the 3 girls, you see
Santa
and the cop guy.
Yeah.
If you're going to show these people living, don't pretend like you're gonna kill one of the girls if we know that she doesn't die. Because that fake out can't work.
If we know that they're gonna survive, I was just like, well, this interaction means nothing to us.
Okay, so the next 45 minutes or 50 minutes that you build up like some tense scenes with the girls being stalked by Krampus, we know 100% that they will not die. So then why? This is a big one. I didn't really like the movie in general. I'm sure people are gonna dig it, but it just seemed like nothing really is happening. Yeah, there's things that are happening, but none of it seems important. Perhaps it's because of that intro thing. Even the girls like having a fun montage. I imagine they were having fun.
Yeah.
That was super awkward. Maybe that went on too long, but it's just like there's a lot of different scenes and situations, but none of it seemed to have any weight. And when the movie ended, I was just like, oh, that's it? Okay. I didn't care for it.
I think that's just the general feeling. I think that there is a significant amount of people that will actually just outright enjoy this movie. I just don't think we were those people.
No, it doesn't sound like we were those people at all.
It felt very unoriginal.
Which kind of sucks because we know for a fact that Spooky Dan shot this well before Krampus.
Yeah.
This was potentially one of the first Krampus movies. And I mean, the market's been flooded with Krampus movies because it's been in editing and going through different things. Because we actually met Spooky Dan back when we went to the Muck premiere at the Playboy Mansion. Mm-hmm. He was at the after party and he was talking about it 4 years ago or 5 years ago. Yeah. He said it was in sound and it should have been coming out that year. And it just came out last year, I think.
Which is unfortunate because I do think it suffered from like all those like revivals of Krampus and things like that. So if you haven't seen a million of those already, I think you'd probably enjoy it.
And thankfully, all of those use really terrible CG Krampuses. And this is easily the best one. If this would have come out earlier, I think that it would have set the bar a little bit higher for these other shitty Wild Eye releasing movies.
Time for our final thoughts and ratings.
I've been really excited to watch this movie for quite some time now. The moment that we first heard about it, it sounded great, and there are great elements about it. I unfortunately just felt the jokes didn't really land for me, and the movie in general just seemed forgettable. Well, I did like our characters. They didn't do enough badass shit. The movie just felt off. It does have the Christmas cheer, or some people do. This one's weird because this is far better than many of the other Christmas horror movies, but it's not really a great movie. For the season, may as well check it out, but I didn't really enjoy it. So I'm gonna give this 1.5 YouTube ads moving with the playhead out of 5.
I agree with Jay on most points here. Like, it was just a linear, like, boring kind of movie. It just needed some weight to it, something special. I don't think that the fact that it involved Santa and Krampus was enough to set it apart from other movies, which could be what we said. Maybe we're tired of Krampus Santa movies. Again, I truly believe there's an audience for this movie, and I think people will enjoy the jokes and everything it has to offer. It's just that personally, it just didn't strike the right chord with me. So with all that being said, I'm gonna give this 1.5 shots of eggnog out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, links are in the description. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything Bloodbath and beyond.